Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play. I hope you like what you see. Maybe hit like and subscribe. And I would love to know what you like to stitch. And if you're a returning stitching friend, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time and also pressing play and giving me a chance to talk about cross stitch, because it is just one of my favorite things to do, and I am so glad to be able to share it with other people who love it too. So thank you. Alrighty, so I have, as usual, the same amount of projects as I normally do. I have one gigantic start that I will show you coming up. I have a start and a finish. So we went from both ends of the spectrum, from huge to tiny. And then I also have 3 other finishes. Now they're smalls, but that's okay. So that was 4 finishes this week, which is so exciting because when I look at my book, that means, wait a minute, I don't remember the exact number. I have 43 finishes this year. And so far I've got 47 starts. So I'm pretty close, much closer than I have been in years past. And I think that 43 finishes might have been close to what I did all of last year, and we still have a few more months to go, so hopefully there'll be some more coming down the next couple months. So it is the end of September. I cannot believe it. So I pulled out all of my kind of orangey kind of, I know this is not the exact kind of fall orange, but I figured, okay, it's still September, so we'll kind of straddle that end of summer orange with the kind of pumpkin spice orange. So, you know, I'm a little warm though, so I need Kim's fan. If you watch Kim, I know how you feel. All right, so stop being silly and let's get going. So my first piece that I want to show you, I had started it last week. In fact, it was the last piece I showed you last week. I continue to work on it. It was part of my AB Singo, which is now officially over. I'll talk about that in a second. And but I liked it too much that I just kept going. And so I did get probably another good 500 this weekend. This is, what's the official name? Blackbird Sampler from Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitching. So that's what the original looks like. Now I took the spirit of that. This is stitched, I believe, in a black silk variegated. And my eye just saw lots of blues. And so I went the blue route instead. And, oh, and I forgot to pull out, let me see what number this is so I know. There we go. I am using Threadworks for my floss, and I'm using 1024, which is a deep navy, not very variegated, and that's okay. That was a choice I made because my fabric, on the other hand, has some good modeling. Not heavy, probably a little bit lighter than what you're seeing, but I don't worry about that necessarily anyway, because once we have it stitched in, things will look good. It's 18 count Celestial Tide from To Dye For Fabrics. So this is at a distance, so you can see that's the far edge. Let me go a little bit farther this way so you can see the fabric. But that's what it will, that's as far as it'll go. So that's exciting. I did that last week when you saw it. So let me just now come closer this way and come over to you. So what I've decided to do, these 2 elements, they go all the way the top border and down the side, which I obviously haven't stitched yet, although I might, because that, the kind of the fabric of the border, this little bit went fast, and then you can do all the little pieces. So what I've been doing is I'll pick a piece, one of these, stitch it, pick a motif or 2, depending, as you can see, some of them are small, stitch it, and then keep going back and forth, because I feel like if I leave this, I'll be bored, but I don't necessarily want to do it all at once because I'll be bored. So I love these kinds of patterns where I can go back and forth. Plus, it's always kind of a little bit of a check for me. Okay, do I have everything that's just right? So we got this whole element in. This flower is pretty dense as well. Some of these, and then some of the small pieces. So I'm really, really happy with the progress on this one. I really enjoy it. It's kind of one of those that, you know, with so many motifs, every little one you finish is like a little finish. I am stitching it in its entirety as far as I don't see any reason why I wouldn't. So you will see it as is, but obviously my color version of it. So exciting. like I said, I used this last week for AB Singo, which was the letter L, because there's all sorts of letters on here, including the letter L. But Charlie did say when I had an L, I just could have used the word letters and said that this piece has letters. So thank you, Charlie. I'm gonna have to remember that for future reference on these games. So that's what it looks like. You will most likely see this quite often. I really, like I said, I really enjoyed it. Although between Pansy Patch and Blueberry Ridge, I have several different patterns. I really like the whole look of them. I like kind of changing them up a bit and making them my own. And I think you'll just keep seeing them on a rotation. And most, if not all of them, I'm doing monochromatic. Obviously, as I'm showing you that's behind me, I don't do all monochromatic, but I really enjoy it for, like, stitching to me is relaxing, but monochromatic stitching is super relaxing because it's just one strand after another. I know some people find that boring, but for me, I can just get in a zone. My brain kind of relaxes and evens out, you know, and I could be watching something on TV or a Flosstube or listening to a book, but there's just something about, you almost have to turn your brain off and you can just do the stitching and go with it and not have to worry about it. So that's why you will always see quite a few monochromatics in my pile of projects, because to me, they are just very soothing. Okay, next, let's talk about AB Singo. And AB Singo is something that was started by Carolyn Zook and Robin Birdseye Stitches as part of the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge Facebook group. All Facebook groups, anything listed down below, will be in the description box. Oh, and you'll notice at the very top of the description box, I list my Facebook group, my Instagram. I am working on figuring out all the little pieces of the free Patreon. That will be listed there as well. But I changed my Instagram. For years, I was Paper Lore because I had a Etsy business and a standalone website that did all sorts of paper products and things like that and creations. And so for years, I used that. And so I finally decided, I wasn't sure I could change it, but I played around with Instagram, and now we are Stitching by the Shore on Instagram. So it must be easier to find me. And if you'll notice that change, it's going to go forward in my videos. I'm not going to change the description box the last 286 before this video. So it's just going to, actually more with my extras, it's just going to stay the way it stays. All right, so I'm going in my book here. And is this September? Yes, it is. You're going to see, I'm not going to show you yesterday or Wednesday. Those projects will be shown next week, but I did get a blackout. Now, my AB Singo is different than what Robin and Carolyn are doing this year. I modeled mine after last year's AB Singo. 25 blocks, 25 letters. I pulled my own letters each day. I did a minimum of 100. I tried to get to at least 200, and I was able to fill in all the blocks. So super excited. I had enough projects to show you this week, so you will see the last two. Let me see. Yes, because the one on Wednesday, I didn't get a lot, and I want to work on it through the weekend. So I figured I'll wait and show it to you, and not once I get more work done on it. That's right. And then I generally don't show you my Thursday stitching very often, unless it's a special start or something. Okay, so let's see here. What was the next one? So on the 18th, last Thursday, I pulled the letter F, and I pulled out Forest Goddess. And I was really looking forward to pulling this out because if you'll see, she has an owl with her, and I wanted to continue to pull out any owl stitches to kind of stitch with Jen from Jen's Fiberweb. She has a stitch along for the entire month of September to stitch owls, hashtag gonnabeowlrightsal. And so I was able to pull this one out. I only have 2 existing projects that have owls of any type on them. Actually, no, I take that back. I think my October cottage garden, but at this point I probably just wait till October to pull that out. But these are the 2 main ones, one with the owl as the main piece, and then one as the owl as the extra. And fun part of it was I was able to actually get some of the owl stitched, so even better. let me see here. This is actually a much more narrow piece than I anticipated. So that's where I am. Super excited. I still have more leaves to do. As you can see, there's some that go here, and this is all empty so far. And there's a flower and all that. But I was just kind of tired of the greenery. I said I wanted to do something fun. So as you can see, I stitched all of her hair. We got her eyes in, and then I started the owl over here. The owl is all one color, so that will be fun and easy to stitch. This is done on an 18 count Crypt cloth from Lapin Loops. It is my first Lapin Loops, and I do have to say I do enjoy stitching on it. I stitch in hand. I know sometimes people ask me that. I do not do the sewing method because I don't know if part of it is I stitch left-handed. I write right-handed, but I do many things, including eating and stitching and things like that, lefty. And so I don't know, I just took it up lefty years and years and years ago when I had first started to learn how to stitch. And when I came back to it, it didn't feel right doing it any other way. And so for me, sewing method feels weird. And so just regular old poke and stab. It doesn't matter if it's the tiniest piece or the biggest piece, always in hand. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't, depending on if I'm using something like a picture of this plus. I have to be a bit careful because I do have a tendency to pull a little hard. And those pieces, if you look at them finished, they are pulled a little too hard. But honestly, that's okay. I enjoyed stitching them. I think they look pretty, and that's all that matters, really. Alrighty. Next piece here, I pulled the letter R. And I was thinking I was going to go red, and I thought, oh, that would be good for I Spy, for color of an apple, which I haven't filled yet. I still have 4 more days to fulfill that one and my corn maze one. Those are the only 2 I have left. I've done everything else. But then I did all my projects, and I said, you know, I haven't stitched my penguins lately. Of course, I ironically have not really gotten to the I can't wait. I'm saving the penguins to the very end because I think they'll be so cute to stitch. This pattern is Ruskins Penguins, and it's by Modern Folk Embroidery. And it is so cute. I chose to go a different fabric route. It's all black and white, and I'm using that. I thought about making the heart red, but I'm not sure on my fabric if I would like that. So I decided probably I won't do that. Let me show you. That's where I am. I just wanted something that was kind of deeper. It's bluer. You know me, I'm blue. If you are new, I am a huge fan of blue. I guess I don't really have favorites for some things because I like this color and that color and this, but I bet you if you asked pretty much anybody who watches my channel, what's my favorite color? I think everybody would guess blue because I really do enjoy blues. I'm really trying to get the border done, and sometimes I struggle and sometimes I have a groove. And this time around I worked bringing some of this down, and then I did all the way across here. I had done the inside because I wanted to see, I think, well, the words, I got bored one of these times that I did it, but I also wanted to see more than just the white against the black, how it would pop on the colors. And it looks good. Now, there are a few kind of stray kind of white stitches here and there, you know, kind of like one single stitch. On this fabric, I think I could carry the white easily, so I probably would do them. Sometimes if it's reversed, right, a really light fabric and a dark floss, I don't like to carry because you can see through it. But in this case, it doesn't matter. Now, maybe if I was framing this or putting this up somehow or other, it might be fun to make those single pieces beads, but this will go in the scrapbook. I know that. I would say, I don't know if it'll fit in my 6x8. Be nice if it did. It might just fit in the 6x8. So I don't like to do beads on anything that's like that because I don't want it to press against projects that it's on the other side of it. But I think that'd be cute if you were doing it on your own. I remember Catherine from Accounting My Stitches stitched this one, I'm almost sure. I'm gonna write down Catherine's name if you want to go check out her fun stitching. And it looked really cute. So I really do want to get back to it because it'd be fun to have this one finished. That'd be really nice if I could have this one finished. And then one video in the winter, it might show its way up here fully finished. because a lot of the time, not always, I have some other pieces that are not scrapbook, but a lot of time I showcase my scrapbook pieces up here. So let's take a moment to talk about those while we're at it, because I know some of you may have seen me stitch them. Many of you would, my friends who have been with me for a while, but it's been quite some time, especially for Betsy's Autumn. So when I stitched these, these are Betsy's Autumn and Cinnamon Stars, both from Plum Street Samplers. And I'll show you one. They're finished on the scrapbook exactly the same way. They are part of a two-piece collection. So when you open up the page, you see Cinnamon Stars on this side, because I want everything's flowing. The stars come up, flow, and then the leaves keep flowing that way. I could have done it. I don't know why I chose that, but I did. And they both have the same full finish with the washi tape, cardstock, and cardstock. I didn't even mat them. The pieces themselves were close enough to the edges that I decided not to mat the actual pieces. If you're curious about scrapbooking your stitches, I have a whole playlist. You know that. Well, you may not know that if you're new. I do. And I talk about, I've done show and tells of my scrapbooks probably from about maybe 2 years ago in December. I haven't done a lot recently just because I haven't done a lot of fully finishing, to be honest with you. I haven't been super inspired. And I want to finish, I really want to finish Autumn Town, fully finish it for the scrapbook before the season's over. So maybe I can have myself a finishing day. I say that quite a bit, and then I'm just ensconced in stitching, and I don't want to get up and go to the other area that does the full finishing. So one day, hopefully, I will get a whole bunch more of pieces that I can put in the scrapbooks. So, but that is what you're seeing behind you. And they're not companions. I think this is a Fabrics by Stephanie, and I took the piece that I got, stitched half of it, or cut it in half basically, used half for Betsy's Autumn and the other half for Cinnamon Stars. What's neat too is this, you could easily use a 12 by 12 frame if you wanted to frame it once it's fully finished. Sometimes I'll just take them out of, I'll keep them in here because I want to protect them. Sometimes if you keep taking them in and out, your edges will start. This edge, I think this must have fallen at one point because the edge is a little off. But sometimes I just put them on my shelf like this so I can look at them kind of like they're leaners, and then they go back in the scrapbook when the season's over. So there's different ways. Obviously, if you're displaying them in your house, you may not want to put them in the plastic, but you could easily frame them. It's basically like a photograph now because it's flat. So those are my pieces that I wanted to show. I figure we're into fall now because we've had the first day of autumn. And then in October, I start pulling out more and more of the Halloween pieces. And I didn't want to forget about, this is one of my favorite larger finishes. My 12 by 12 scrapbook does not have quite a bit in it. It is the lowest least filled scrapbook, and some of the stitches are actually combined with pictures of family and vacations and things, so it's a little bit different, and it's a bit of a hybrid sort of scrapbook. But these are two that I've always really loved, and I enjoy looking at them in the scrapbook, so I thought I'd show them today. That'll probably come out every September. Okay, so moving on, let's move on now. Then on the 20th, I picked M. And so we had back-to-back Modern Folk embroidery because I said M for Modern Folk, and I decided to pull out Real Comfort. I was feeling like I wanted the pinks, and you'll see my fabric is pink, is what I have chosen, and my floss is a deeper, I think kind of pomegranate. Now I am not stitching the bottom part. I'll only be stitching the top. I'm not doing that outside border, and I have not stitched this part here. That's Jane Austen with the dates. I am thinking, once I stitch this part, I may put the dates and Jane Austen underneath the town. And then that, because this is so beautiful, this look, I don't want your eye being drawn to the words. I want your eyes to draw down, and then eventually you see her name. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. Either that or I wouldn't do her name at all. But the more I've looked at it, I think somehow I might want to include that along with the quote. So here I am right here. This is 18 count, what is this? Bliss from Fabrics by Stephanie. It's a very pretty pink. If you look every once in a while, it has almost a purple tinge to it, but it's very, very subtle, and you kind of have to look for it. So let me bring you up. Oh, there's a lot of leaves in here, right? So I had done some of the traveling around, and then I wanted to go back and do all the fill-in. Do I even have one more? I do. I'm looking at it, and there's one more that goes here. Do you see that? These two sides mirror each other, so that'll be easy enough. I have to be careful because I have a tendency to bring this one places or take it out places, and the counting is pretty substantial, right? I mean, you can't, it has to meet nice and everything else. So I don't do myself any favors. I need to bring this one out when it's quiet here and I can just really concentrate. My brain is really firing on all cylinders and it's ready to go. I am using boysenberry for my floss, and that is from Pirate and Robin. It's not a heavily variegated Pirate and Robin, and in fact, it's probably not really variegated at all, but it's such a deep, rich color, and I love it on the lighter pink. So kind of my version of a tone-on-tone sort of idea with a really deep, kind of straddles like the reds and the pinks, right, against the light pink. So this one just comes out pretty much. I think I did some letters too. This one comes out for challenges, or if I feel like it, or if it just feels pretty. So sometimes I just want something pretty, and we'll pull it out. But I'm really enjoying it. And once I get this part done, the counting here will go, much faster, and that will be super easy. So I anticipate what I have to do is not say to myself, okay, you know what? You're going to take a break from that once I get to it somewhere where I can really work on the houses, and then work on the houses and then leave that top section. Whoops, I did not mean to zipper that up. I think I re-zippered some of these so things wouldn't fall out, but then of course, I have to unzipper them to put things back. Oh no, I lost my thing for my notes. All right, I think I have a piece of paper somewhere. I'll do it on the back of this. So this way, if I have other people I want to talk about, I want to make sure. I never trust myself to remember that I said I mentioned this person or that. So I have to take the notes for it. All right, so next, on the 21st, which was Sunday, I pulled the letter Q. And that worked out really well because then I decided, wow, Sundays is my spring Quaker stitch. So there's the Q. And I was able to be in a stitching room for a little while in the Harvest Moon with Andrew, the runner stitcher. Let me write down Andrew, who is running the challenge that I'm using this piece for. So many of you have mostly at this point heard about wipintoshape. Andrew, obviously the runner stitcher, is a runner, and he is training for the New York City Marathon on November 2nd, and we are stitching along with his training. So for every mile he runs, that's 10 stitches. I usually accumulate them on Sunday or on the weekend, and then I just do them all at once. Leading up to the last week to the race, I will probably try to get all of the extra stitches maybe done maybe by the Saturday, and then on race day, 26 point, is it 1 or 2? I think it's 26.2. So that would be another 262 stitches I try to get done on race day. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my Spring Quaker, it is very different than the original. It's a beautiful piece. It really is. I just didn't feel like brown said spring to me, and I decided I wanted to change that up a little bit. So I did go with the pink fabric, which I was going to do with the browns. That was the original pattern, plan, to be honest with you, was pink and brown, because I do like that color combo. And then I had everything pulled. I was all ready to do it, and it just wasn't speaking to me. So then I did a color conversion, and it's been a long, I still have one more color I need to convert. So it's been a long road and trial and error in some cases. Maybe there's a piece or two of some of these smaller ones that wouldn't be my favorite, but they're done and it looks pretty now. So we're just plugging along. I almost finished. So I had the outside almost finished. I had to do the carrot, which I chose a carrot color that wasn't what was called for. It's a little bright in the overall scheme of things, but I decided that it's kind of cute, and it's just like that little pop of the color with the bunny rabbit, and I think the bunny rabbit's cute, so it's fine. The only other area over here, she had put her initials in a box, and I think I just want to put a motif instead, so I just have to decide which one and which color, and then put it in there. Otherwise, I am focusing on the middle. That's all that's done already, that is left to do. This time around, my 200, no, it was 320 or 10, I don't remember how many, but it was all focused on this area over here. So I knew what this side was going to look like because this is mirrored on both sides, and so we really just kind of focused on that, which I know you look at it and you say, how is that 300 and some odd stitches? But it is. Now, right below here is where I need to do one more, let me look at the picture myself, color conversion. The flowers, there's a row of flowers on each side here that are a yellow, which is, you know, really pretty combo with the other colors. However, I think the yellow that's called for would match more with the brown schemes, kind of like fall colors, as opposed to spring. So I think I want to do a little bit pop of a brighter. No, that's too bright. I was looking at 445, but it's almost fluorescent. I will try to find, oh, nothing here is popping out that I can see. I will try to find like a nice gentle yellow. I had changed these. They were charted in 03, which was a little too gray. And so I changed them to more of a purpley blue. And that yellow goes in the center of all those flowers as well. So I do want to make sure I match it up with that too. But once I get the flowers decided and get that part stitched, then it's all just houses. And I think that will go pretty quick. And I keep forgetting to finish the words, but so will it be done by the time Andrew runs the marathon? That's anybody's guess. I mean, I'm not doing a lot of extra besides the numbers. I mean, I generally do a bit more than what Andrew runs each week, just because if I'm in a groove or I'm not going to stop right at the number, I just figure I'll do a few little bit extra with the threads or whatever. So I'm not sure if there's enough running left to go with all these stitches, since again, it's more than I think, right? But we'll see. I'll just keep plugging along. If it doesn't get finished by then, I think I might keep it as the focus and let Summer Quaker, you'll notice you haven't seen that one recently, and I've made that decision to just kind of focus on this one now, get that one done, and then Summer Quaker, it's just the center that needs to be done, but that's a much larger center than this one. So we'll just wait, not mix and match them, and kind of go from there. All right, so then we turn the page. We got to Monday, and the letter that came out was D. Now, sometimes when I do these challenges, and one of the things I like to do is I like to combine them. This way, you know, we only have so much time to stitch each week, and I usually touch about 12 or 13 projects, unless it's like a challenge where you're stitching smaller amounts like Riff Off or Whip Frenzy, things like that. So because I only touch a certain amount, I want to make sure I'm combining them with the challenges and not overdoing it, because then I can't get to everything. Well, I knew that oh boy, this is what I want. I knew that I was going to start this one on the first day of autumn, which was Monday. And let me write down Heather's name. Heather, the 20-minute stitcher, is going out of her comfort zone, because I know she doesn't like she doesn't do much full coverage. I shouldn't say she doesn't like it. She just generally does not stitch that. But she's joining me in stitching this. This is Autumn Hollow, I believe. Yes, by Rose Catherine Kahn. And it is charted, so that's the artwork. It's charted by Paine Free Crafts. There are actually 6 designs in this whole piece that you could do as an entire huge piece, which probably ranges about 950,000 stitches, I would guess, if you were to do all of them. I am not. I probably would do them singly anyway if I was to. I mean, if full coverage didn't take as long, there's several others I would love to stitch because they're beautiful. But I just thought this was so much fun, and I love fall colors. So if I was going to be stuck on something, Oh, what am I doing here? Put this down. If I was going to be stuck on something for a long time, might as well be autumn colors. Now, these colors are a little bit brighter than my traditional autumn, but that's because it's the very tippy top. I am in a lot of confetti, but I did almost get 1,000 stitches, so I'm excited about that. So there I am. You can see it's not very wide because my piece itself, and I do give 3 inches on full coverage on the off chance I ever finish one of them and do get them framed. But unlike most of my other pieces, and I think that might even be some more extra on this side. I don't know exactly because I don't know where the center is. That I might be getting close to the center. I'm not sure. That seems far though, because I know that width-wise, it's like 11 or 12 inches tops. You can see it's rolled around. This thing, I didn't cut it to size because I just went right down the piece that I had shipped to me, but it is 59 inches and I'm like 5'1", so it's literally as tall as I am. But there I am. I think it's about 960 stitches so far. This is 18 count white aida, 2 strands over 1, and I stitch full cross when I do these. And I stitch in hand, which is why all of that is kind of tied up. Just because, again, it's easier for me. And I don't have any plan with my full coverage, as you can see. I don't park. I don't color complete. I don't do by rows or squares or pages, anything really. I just kind of wing it and whatever color I feel like doing. Now, I did try to come across, and I did to a certain degree. This area, I believe, is repeated on this side, so then there'll be a bit more blocky. But in the center, if I'm looking at it, the piece, there's a beautiful design in the center, but confetti heavy and then over. It's so funny with full coverage, either you've got like a sky or a background that is just thousands of stitches of one color, or you just jump right into the confetti. It'd be nice if it was just like a middle ground to get things going. So I cannot wait to see Heather as she's stitching it as well. I do plan on stitching this one, hopefully in October, 100 stitches a day. I'd like to get a really good start on it before it gets put away. And hopefully I can try to pull out some other full coverages as well. But this one is the one that I definitely would like to see some work on. I do my full coverages generally after dinner because the fabric is white, which I'm now noticing even when it's dark and it's a digital pattern, I still have trouble seeing the dark fabric now at night. I'm starting to. And I certainly can't read paper patterns at night. So my eyes are getting very finicky, which means that's when some of that stitching is going to get the most work done. So hopefully you will continue to see it. All right, and then the last one I'm going to show you this week from AB Singo. I have other projects, but it's the last AB Singo piece, is the 23rd. I pulled the letter O, and I had wanted to start this cute little owl, and so I did the letter O as owl. Now I'm going to bring it up close because I took this owl out of a larger piece. This is part of the La Finestra del Tempo 12-month piece from Crocette Gogo. I don't say that right. You know who says it? Awesome. I love watching Somi Sarah. And when she stitched all of these. They're beautiful. You'd have to go back. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. And I love when she says it because I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. Me, on the other hand, when I say it, not so good. But Sarah's got some beautiful work. She's a lovely person to listen to, and I love when she puts out videos. So I'm going to link her down below for you if you're not watching her. But if I come all the way up to October, do you see that little kind of owl witch? I stitched that. All right, yes, I started and finished that. I did not do the crow on top. I thought about it, but I wanted to make this a teeny tiny ornament because I have a tabletop tree. So I don't have a lot hanging on it because a lot of my stuff is a little too big for it. And so I stitched it. And so we got a start and a finish. Now this is, I don't know, Rustico, oatmeal. I don't know what you call that. I don't know if they're different. I actually accidentally stitched it on this side is darker, I think. Oh, it's not going to show in the light. But when I look at it in person, it looks a little darker. So I don't know if there's a front or a back to these things. I just picked whatever side was up and I went. But isn't he cute? So he will be a teeny tiny little ornament. And again, hopefully, I would love to get him fully finished, potentially. I don't know, before, well, certainly before Halloween. I have other pieces that I've said that in years past, and they're still sitting in the drawer, so we'll see. But yeah, so there's my little start and finish. So in the end, I had, where's my owl page? The Gonna Be All Right Sal. I had, oops, see my little guy down there. 2 starts, 2 whips with owls, and I might do some more owl decorating down here now. And I think that'll be it for it. But that's pretty good. I got 4 owls kind of worked on in the month. I didn't sadly get to any foxes because I know there was the fox style too. And there's some really cute foxes, and I'm sure I have pieces of them, but I just didn't get to it. Okay. Now I don't remember why. Oh, I know why I pulled this out. I do the acrostics from Magazine Monthly and Crafts and Books, which is the Facebook page of Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher. If you're interested, Beth just put a video out this week, plus a flip through. So she's got 2 videos out this week. And between the 2 acrostics, I had to do 3 letter Ds. Like, ugh, you're getting me here. So I went and I pulled out, oh, no, it's older. Let's see, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. And I said Doc and Dopey are 2 of my letter Ds. So there we go. That's what it looks like. This is from Tiny Modernist. Or to eventually look like. Mine does not look like that yet. I stitched Wizard of Oz on a light blue opal. And I'm doing Alice in Wonderland on that same fabric. I didn't have any more, but I had this opal and I thought, well, this will be fun. And we'll change it up. All the trees can be kind of a little mini collection. And I like it. I might have to change a blue somewhere along the way. I don't know about like her dress or the bluebirds later on. We'll see. But I got my stitches in, so I'm super excited. I finished the whole, so you know, there's construction that needs to be done on these. So I did finish the construction of this row. Each level has these leaves with flowers, so that I got some of that done. I kind of mix it in because it kind of gets a little repetitive, but it'll look cute in the end. And then I came down and I said, well, these don't look like anything right now, but they are like little gems or jewels, but they need backstitch. I'll wait till the end to backstitch. This needs backstitch. I think the faces do. So there's obviously backstitch to be done. But I said, oh, well, I'm so close. I'm going to do one of the little hats. And I don't know if I can tell. I don't know. I don't think it's Happy. I can't tell who it is. So, but I did. I was excited to get that little bit because I think except for, oh, his axe. I keep forgetting to do that. But except for that and the leaves on the edges, this whole row is done. So now I want to come down here and do some of that. So that's exciting. And yeah, this one just comes out when I feel like it. There's so much on these trees that they're great for acrostics because it covers a lot of letters. All right, this next one here, it's a finish. It's a little finish. I'm going to show you the original because it's not in that folder, because I didn't do one part of it. This is the original. It's from the Just Cross Stitch. Is it the Halloween issue? Yes, Halloween 2025 from Just Cross Stitch. I chose not to put the word Bee-Ware. So I just wanted to show you that that is an option. I just chose not to do it. I thought the bee was so cute. I thought it would be a quick stitch. It was a little bit more intensive than I thought. If I was to count it up, I bet you there's a good 1,000 stitches at least in this. But there he is. He's done. Now I did change the color of the yellow. It was a different yellow. Let me see if I put the notes here on my working copy. Yes, I went with 726 instead of the called for the main yellow. Everything else is just what, oh, it's black, white, and then a tiny little bit of deeper yellow. But I just wasn't feeling it with the called for, and I thought this one went well. This is actually, it's a scrap, but it is 18 Count Haunting from Fabrics by Stephanie. And it's a gray. It's a very kind of interesting mottled gray. Let me show you the side of it. but you definitely have purple tones mixed in, more so than the purple tones I talked about on the previous piece with the pink. Here, if you look, you don't have to look too hard to see them. They're probably not coming out as much on there. So at this point, I don't have a ton of it, although I do have a strip still left over here. So who knows what'll go on there. But it's done. This is another one that would be fun to get finished before Halloween. And the bee is probably small. Oh yeah, it's small enough it could go on my tabletop tree too. So I do have items and things that could kind of fill that up a little bit more. All right, this one I worked on this week because I love working on it. It's monochromatic. Right now it's seasonal, although you know I'm not generally a seasonal only stitcher. And it is, again, Blueberry Ridge, right? Sampler Seasons Autumn from Blueberry Ridge. I plan on doing all 4. This is the first one. And I'm actually not going to start another one until this one's done. And I know I'm smiling because you know when I have these pieces where it's say for seasonal or whatever, I do have a very often I have the propensity, trying to figure out the word there, to start more than one. Just get excited and just keep going with them. And I'm holding myself back on this one. I started this with Mary from Mary's Stitching Corner, and Mary finished it. I think Mary said she finished it in May, and it looks fantastic. Hers is very different. She's doing it much more as the original, and it's beautiful. I, on the other hand, cannot seem to do things very often as the original. I was inspired by kind of the neutrally color, so I did go with a browns. Now, what you are seeing is much more heavily modeled than what I'm seeing, so it's not that severe. Having said that, I also, if you look over here, it doesn't look as severe as if you look down here, right? Because the stitching's already there. I'm using Fire Lily from Stitchy Stuff Co. And this one is variegated slightly. Now, actually, I'll show you, bring the pumpkin up better. It would show more variegation if I was stitching it that way. I have chose not to use max variegation. There's a piece, I generally don't. There's a piece that you will see next week that I am making the distinct choice to use peak variegation as much as possible and get the whole stripy look of it. I just wanted to give that one a go. I generally don't do that as heavily for most of my other pieces, but you will see there is some in the pumpkin because it's a larger piece, and so you're going to get some in the apples. I did this time around finish the apple area, and then this pumpkin is the largest element and motif in this piece, and I had all of that down here to do. So I did get quite a bit done, even though once it's done, it doesn't look like a huge area, but it was quite a lot of stitching. So I'm really happy to get that one done. And there are still, like, there's a leaf and there's some other motifs that are larger, and I still have 2 borders left to do. I only have the top and one side done. The other 2 sides they're different than the ones I've done, although they are repeats themselves and a little bit more intensive than the ones I have done. But I'll just kind of come back and forth and just work my way down on it. So I will definitely be picking this one up for autumn stitching. And now, I didn't start this as part of my pumpkin birthday sale, but it clearly is a piece that has some pumpkins on it. So there's 2 things I'm planning on doing for October. One, I'm pulling out all the pieces that were specifically started in October's for the pumpkin birthday stitch along. And then I'm also going through and looking at some of my other pieces that have pumpkins that I would like to put in and celebrate in October because it is pumpkin birthday month. I'm generally not, like I said, seasonal, but I'm just embracing it. And come October, I just go full-blown October colors and pumpkins and the whole bit. All right, next. I am not going to get this one finished by the end of September because it is the 26th. This is September's Morning Glory, and it is from Cottage Garden Samplings. I skipped a week because there was, I I have to say, I'm doing a lot of games this September, and I'm really enjoying it, but I didn't think ahead how many pieces that would be. So there's a few pieces here and there that did get put by the wayside. And so for a week, this one did, which means it won't be finished by the end of the month. However, I only have October left. So I will try to do one more week's worth of stitching on this, whatever number of, however much I can get, a couple hundred stitches, 200-300 stitches. Then it'll get put away. I'll start October in the month of October and then work my way backwards, because that's it. November, December already done. Once October's finished, I'll go back to this one. Once this one's done, I'll go back to the July. I'm saving July until I can't choose anything else. So here we are. Except for their little eyes, my squirrels are completely done. I did a few of these kind of falling leaves. I realized I don't have any idea why I did this. I must have run out of the strand here, and for some reason I decided not to stitch that last little bit. So I do have to go back and stitch that. Otherwise, I finished this entire flower. Oh, no, it is not finished. There's one, is that? No, there's one more color that needs to be stitched on that. And then as I was doing some of the other colors, I was flicking around a little bit. These guys actually had more stitching than you realized. And then I did the outline on this. And so I'll probably, whatever color is missing here, I'll wait until I need it here and then work it in. There's one little tiny bud there, but after these two flowers, there's just a lot of greenery. So there's all this kind of greenery, these leaves, which it'll go on the quicker side because it's easy to count. And then once the outer part's counting, you just fill in with another green. And then I have this to do. So I won't get it finished. I'm pretty sure of that. But however, it will be pretty close. So when I do go back to it, it should be an easier finish. Okay. But now I finish off the last two pieces that I have that are finishes. And one is actually a full finish. It's a simple full finish, but it's a finish. I'm going to show you the original again on this one just because I did change the fabric color. But I started, I don't remember. I remember seeing people talking about it at the spring mingle, and some people started it then. I did not. Oh, I started it, silly, I started it in July. And I started it with Karen, the Stitching Owl, and Melanie of Uplift Stitches. And Karen and Melanie are done, as Karen and Melanie usually are when I stitch things with them. I don't remember if anybody else chose it, but it is Snackle Lantern from Boomerang Stitches. And it was an awful lot of fun. I worked on this at night at the Harvest Ball because it was digital. This is what has told me, though, that I'm having trouble seeing darker fabrics at night, because I did struggle a little bit with finding some of the holes. But I really wanted to get this one done before, well, I remember people talking about it at the spring mingle, getting it done by the harvest moon. Technically, I did get that done because I finished it before harvest moon ended. I want to say if I look at my book here, it might have come out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yep, I came out all 3 days to get it done. I still had 2, 5, 7, 8, almost 900 stitches to do before the weekend. And so I really kind of concentrated on it quite a bit. So there it is, it's done. I love it on this fabric. Thank you, Karen, for suggesting a blue. And then I was going to do purple. I was all in on the purples and I couldn't find one that worked. And then Karen said, ooh, how about blue? This is 18 count ocean blue from Bestitchme. And I would never have thought necessarily to put a Halloween piece. I mean, this is what it looks like. Would you put a Halloween piece on this? Maybe, but there's so many things I could see being put on it besides. But I love it. So now I need to look at some of my other Halloween pieces and see if there's anything I want to keep going on this. So there it is. That's a finish. So that's finish number 3. We had our Halloween owl, our Bee-Ware, our little vampire bee, and now Snackle Lantern. So you can see they're smalls, but hey, a finish is a finish. And then my very last one, you're probably not going to be surprised if you watched last week, if you're saying, well, Laura, where is it? I finished and fully finished Pickleball. Time for Pickleball. This is a chart by Annabella's, and there's actually two charts to it. One is a small that's kind of like a little, you could make into a pillow or an ornament or whatever you wanted to do. And then, not that this one's huge, but this is the bigger of the two pieces. And so I stitched it on 18 count lemon from Bestitchme. And then I went on Amazon and I said 4x6 frames, green, just out of curiosity to see what pop up. I wanted something that was not a bright green. I think this one works well. There's so many different greens you can see here. There's probably I think there's 5 different greens we use on this. I was kind of looking for hunter, but I wasn't sure if I'd find a hunter green. But this color matches and picks up some of the other colors of the flosses, so I'm okay with it. So the frame didn't come until late afternoon yesterday. So I very hurriedly stuck it in there to show Mo, and he got a kick out of it. And then this morning I redid it in the frame. Is it perfect? Probably not. Does he care? No. Do I care? No. We just like it. And we'll see. I don't know if it'll go in his office as fun, or if it doesn't go like color-wise, we'll put it up here somewhere in the crafting area. Or maybe in the other area where we watch TV or something or other. So I just thought it was fun. And, you know, we didn't really do anything for our anniversary, which is, we'll do something, I think next weekend we'll go out. But it doesn't really matter. We just enjoy each day. And so he just thought it was cute. And I thought, I'll try to aim for my anniversary just for fun, because obviously this is stitched for him. I don't play pickleball. I'm not sure anybody would trust me to play pickleball. So I am an accident waiting to happen when it comes to tripping over my own 2 feet. So we're not really sure we want me playing pickleball. All right, so that is my stitching. What are my plans? I'm finishing up September challenges. I did not do the football, the gridiron grind, or the soccer football for Aston Villa stitching, because last Saturday both teams did abysmal, and I just was like, I'm not doing it. It's only like, I don't know, 100 stitches, 100, whatever it was. I'm waiting until next week. Now, Villa did play yesterday in the Europa League, so they were playing, I think it's Europa. I don't think it's Europa Conference. I don't know. It's one of those. So, and they actually won. I'm like, oh, finally. I think it's their first win of the season. I did some stitching yesterday to make up for Saturday's game, so I haven't stitched for yesterday. And then this Sunday they're playing, which, is that still September? I think so. I don't think October starts till next week. Yeah, 27, 28. I will see. I am looking at these numbers. Both teams are doing really, really, really poorly. And so it's not as much fun to look at all the stats and follow along and everything and do the stitching as I was hoping it would be, because they're doing so poorly. I mean, it's not even like they lost, but it's a hard-fought game. I mean, just really poor play. So it's taken it to another level. And I don't want to associate any yucky feelings with my projects. So I will reevaluate in October if I continue those 2 challenges, because they're not going quite the way I expected them to go as enjoyment purposes. So we will see on that. Other October challenges, obviously there's I Spy. I've got 3 more prompts I'm just finishing up on, so that will be coming out this weekend for those of you who play along. I'll do my acrostics. I think there's 24 hours of cross stitch on October, one of the weekends, which means there's either a riff off or a whip frenzy. For some reason I thought there might be both. I don't know. And then hashtag pumpkin birthday Sal. So if you would like to join me in stitching anything pumpkin-y, or on pumpkin colored fabric, pumpkin colored floss, whatever it happens to be, I would love to see what you're stitching, hear about what you're stitching, and have you stitch pumpkins with me, and we will celebrate everybody, all my October birthday friends, all together in the 1 month. I'm celebrating my birthday all month long, so let's just do it. I'm just going to have fun with it. So I'd love for you to join me on that. I'm trying to think, as I was talking, there was something else challenge-wise that was popping in my head. Let me just look at my book real quick. Oh, I'll continue Whip into Shape, of course, because we have 1 more month before Andrew runs the marathon. And, you know, the regular ones, focus event. Oh, I know what it was. So I have started to pull everything together for that Flosstube extra video about the pumpkin birthday stitch along. So hopefully I'm going to aim to try to film it for this weekend, and at the very latest get it out by Monday. So we'll see if all of that works together. I don't know what our plans are for this weekend, so I think that probably will decide and dictate what I'm doing or whether or not I'm filming. But that's my hope and that's my goal. I pulled out old pieces. I pulled out, I know what the unfinished pieces are. Now I just have to pull out some of the, oh, I think I might want to stitch these pieces. So that's on its way too. Keep an eye out. For mail, I did get trading cards there now. This is the best part of the time because they're coming in fast. So I just want to, I always like to read who's have come in, so you know that I have gotten it and it has gotten to me safely. So Jan, thank you. These have come in. I'm not going to show the front because of address, but they ripped. I don't know. Hopefully it was my mail person that ripped it as they put it in the mailbox, because right in front of my address is completely ripped. Luckily, nothing fell out. I assume there was 2 trading cards. So just confirm if there was anything more than that. That's what I have received. The post office has been interesting this time around. Gail, I received yours. So I've gotten yours. Jennifer W., I've received yours. Ellen, I have received yours, and I'm looking to see, Ellen, did you send me? Yes, you did. Ellen, I love this. Ellen always sends me pictures of things that she has stitched. And in fact, I still have her frog on my shelf because I love it so much. But Ellen stitched Playing with Jacks. But she did the adjustment where the leaves, she did it instead of a jack-o'-lantern, she did leaves. Isn't that beautiful? It is just gorgeous. And she said she finished the pumpkin birthday. Oh, this was a pumpkin birthday project. Thank you, Ellen. Using Helen D's finishing hack. And she stretched the piece around a prepared 5x7 canvas from the craft store. Isn't that beautiful? I always look so forward, Ellen, to your when you send your cards in, because I know you send me pictures of some of your beautiful stitching, and I love it. So awesome, Ellen. I've gotten your cards, and I've gotten that. So I might have to put that up one. I might put the frog down for a little while and put that up on the shelf so they can look at it all during the season. So those are the trading cards that have come in as of this morning as I'm filming. So if you've already sent, hopefully they will be here soon and safely. Alrighty, so that is it for that shopping. I only have one thing to show you. I did not shop at Harvest Moon. There's some beautiful pieces and really cute pieces, and the fabric was really nice. However, I had bought quite a bit the week before. I did buy from Bestitchme, had some ready to ship, and I have 2 pieces coming from that. So I decided to skip and forego the fabric at Harvest Moon, and I was working on Snackle Lantern. So the other raccoon with the pumpkins, I kind of thought, I am doing one right now, so I'm going to skip it as well. So all that to say, I did not buy anything at Harvest Moon. I'm not going to say that's going to not happen with Jingle Ball, because there's a lot more designers there, and I might just have to save my money. But if I hadn't bought a ton right before, I could very well have done some shopping. My fabric of the month from Fabrics by Stephanie did come in. So if you do not want to see, please look away. I get 18 count. I'm not going to say the name. I'm going to show you just in case it would give it away. So don't look if you don't want to see. Okay. So that's the name right there. Now Stephanie it's the same fabric of the month for everybody, in the sense that you don't choose neutrals or colors. Whatever she sends, which I love Stephanie's fabric, so I enjoy whatever she sends. So that's what it looks like. in full. Again, a little bit more modeled, but there is modeling in this one. Okay, I've put it down. Now, if you are interested in Stephanie's Fabric of the Month, I know she sent an email to those who are currently in it, because it's one of those where you sign up for the year and then you have to re-up if you want to sign up for the next year. So she had sent us an email and said you have until the end of September to sign up again, before it's opened up to everybody. So I believe on October 1st, her Fabric of the Month, and I don't know if she'll have availability for every count. But as of October 1st, it sounds like her Fabric of the Month will be opened up for people to get it. I emailed within like an hour of getting the email and said, yes, I would like to keep it up because I do like her fabrics. Fabrics by Stephanie and Bestitchme are the two official Fabric of the Months that I still have, and I'm rolling them into next year, I believe, unless something changes. So that's that. That's the shopping. Alrighty. Other than that, life, you know. So if you're heading out, I'll see you, and I will see you next time, hopefully. Thank you for stopping by and seeing my stitching. Life, not a ton to talk about. I went to the Harvest Moon this weekend. Now, I would pop in and out. You know, Mo and I went out to dinner on Friday, like late. We went for an early dinner. So like late afternoon, early evening we went. Then I popped onto Harvest Moon for a bit. Saturday morning we went to the farmer's market, and then we went to the overlook at the beach and just kind of sat for a bit. Then again, popped in and out. Sunday we did our bowls at the beach. But it was, I don't think the weather was fantastic. So we did not stay super long at the beach, and that's fine. Mo went play pickleball. I went on to the Harvest Moon, and so it's just back and forth with that kind of stuff. And I popped in and out. As usual, my favorite part is the designer meet and greets. It always has been. And these, I haven't seen all of them yet. We have 30 days to watch. Because I popped in and out, I didn't see a lot of things that were necessarily live. So I did see the Lola Crow live, and I have rewatched the Stitchy Pros. I still have a few other things to watch, and then of course the finish parade I didn't see. I think I was tired at that point, so I did not stay on Harvest Moon and watch that. But Stitchy Pros currently, I believe, is us just in paper patterns, although in the meet and greet she talked about doing PDFs within the next few months. So for those of you who are Stitchy Pros fans, I have about at least 5 on my list that I would like to consider starting once she has digital patterns out there. So if there's anything, or go look at Stitchy Pros and see what you like, because I foresee some Stitchy Pros stitching certainly in 2026. Whenever those come out, I'm sure there'll be at least one started this year if they come out this year. So I would love if you'd like to join me, and I really like that. So I would like to go to Jingle Ball. I have no idea if that weekend will be completely available or not. I usually just sign up, and then if I have to come and go, I come and go. If I'm going to be completely gone all weekend, then I don't sign up. But I'm pretty sure I should be able to. I have already looked. If you're curious, the classes are already up and listed, so you can kind of scope out what's there. There's one class I think I might sign up for, but just the PDF version. And I think it's October 17th that the signups are. Is that a Friday? It's usually on a Friday. I think so. If you're thinking about joining, it's going to be fun. And I always say, I was talking with a friend, I am very shy in the bigger rooms. Unless it's full of people that I have stitched with before and I'm very comfortable with, the majority of the time I'm very quiet in the rooms, because that's just me. I do one-on-one Zooms with friends, and then I have different smaller groups that I do Zooms with, and I'm much more comfortable in those. That's just where my comfort zone is. And so I was talking with a friend who has not done many of these, and I very much encouraged her to do Jingle Ball, because you don't have to do the Stitchy Rooms. I know when I watch these videos after people have gone, a lot of times people mention had a great time stitching with other people in the stitchy rooms. And that is definitely an aspect of it, but it's not the only aspect. There is, well, certainly with Jingle Ball, you know, there's always kind of the fun, silly stuff that Lindy Stitches and all the designers do on the main stage. But then there's the meet and greets, which are phenomenal. And you learn so much about people. I was fascinated with some of the things that Amy from Lola Crow, I had no idea her background was where it was. And so it's just so interesting. And you get to see, you know, they show some of their stitching and their past projects and all of that stuff. So if you are concerned about, oh, I'm just not comfortable in stitchy rooms, you can have a great time and never go into any of those if that is not your thing. There is so much other fun stuff with it, especially one that's that big. These smaller ones, there's less. I'm not gonna say that there is as much, but Jingle Ball is rich with opportunities to do other things besides just the rooms. So think about it. It might be something fun for you to do if you were not ready to do things like the stitchy rooms. And you can pop in and pop out just as easily if it just is something that makes you just uncomfortable in the end, right? I myself had not done any of the speed dating, even though I say I'm going to. Sometimes I'm just in and out and I haven't done it. And then other times I'm just like, I'm just not there yet to do it. So think about it if you'd like to join, but you were always kind of a little bit hesitant because you're on the quiet side. I am too. And I really have enjoyed some of the other parts so much that I have joined some of these, even knowing that I may not do a lot of the stitching room. So think about it. I would love to be able to chat with you about any of these fun events and the things that we came away with in the end. That may not be just stitching room related. And then maybe you find one and you find people are stitching the same things as you, and all of a sudden, you know, you can just hang out and just quietly listen. But you don't have to, right? You can find other things to do as well. But that's my spiel on that. I'm trying to think otherwise. I did some Zooms. Ooh, the sun has come out. It was rainy yesterday-ish and then this morning. But it has definitely brightened up, which is really nice. It was warm this week, warmer than I anticipated, to be honest with you. And maybe that's part of it. I might have misstressed this morning, thinking that it was going to be a little bit cooler. I should have known better because it was raining this morning. That it'd be a little muggy. And yeah, I have no idea what's going on this weekend. I'm just going to jump into the weekend and the week, and then whatever happens, happens. So I think that's it. I'm going to try to get some finishing done. If any of you were closer to me, you could sit there and yell at me or look over my shoulder and say, nope, finish. Because I might just start stitching again anyway. But I'm always excited when a new month comes, the new games and the new possibilities. I get super, super excited about that. And it just kind of is so much fun to just start all sorts of fun new stuff at the beginning of each month. So we'll see. What happens, happens. You'll find out next week, just as I do. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you again. Like I said, I do really appreciate you being here and sharing stitching with me. I, as always, cannot stress enough. I want you always to remember, my friend, that you are important and that you matter. You, in all of your beautiful as is self, you matter. And you are important. Until next time, happy stitching.